up, everybody? This is STORYHIVE on location in Lake Cowichan with beats, eats, and more. We're broadcasting live right now from the unceded ancestral lands of the Ts'uubaa-asatx Nation, the people of the lake. Utmost love and gratitude and respect for the original stewards and protectors of these lands. I'm your host of the show, Cazi. And special guest right now, as you could see, something special is happening here. I'm actually trying to keep it together because it's slightly painful. But we are joined today by Julay, spirit name Akit Biyaya, which means charmer of grace. Julay is a queer tattoo ritualist, antingero, amulet conjurer, and keeper of ancestral magic from Kapampangan, Ilokano, and Tagalog lineages, the land that is colonially known as the Philippines. Julay offers ritual handpoke tattoos, ancestral diagnostics like tawas, Reiki, EFT, and mentorship. A student of Hilot, the traditional healing arts of the Philippines, Julay walks the path of decolonizing healing, holding space for grief, truth, and the return to intuitive, liberated living. And today on the show, I am receiving my birthday ink blessing as we get to chat with Julay and learn more about their path, tapping into their healing gifts and their offerings. Oh wow, getting tattooed makes me speak different. I'm like slow and calm because there's it's the counterbalance of the pain of the needle going into the skin. But thank you so much for doing this, Julay.
Yeah, for sure.
I guess I'd love to start, this interview with sharing with the people / also learning from you, being reminded again. How did you first get into ritual tattooing?
Ritual tattooing. So, as you mentioned, I did start off, using a machine. My intentions were to do this work in like healing arts in that kind of realm. And so, but I had actually wanted to get a tattoo from Apo Wangod. I think everybody knows who Apo Wangod is.
There's a picture of her over there on Vogue Philippines.
Yes. And I think I had started tattooing my tattoo journey like in 2000 and honestly when my daughter was born, Tala.
Whoa, 17 years ago.
17 years ago, yeah. I wasn't exactly and I'm talking when I say I started my tattoo journey, I mean start practicing on oranges and oh my gosh, one time I practiced on pigskin. It was pretty gross, but
like lechon before it got cooked or something?
Yeah, it was really gross. I was like, never again. But yeah, and then, learning more about our culture and our tattoo practices, I was like, maybe I should be offering this. I also learned that our ancestral tattooing was actually mostly femmes who did the tattooing. And so when I was looking into getting my first Filipino tattoo, I was going to the Philippines and I was looking for a femme tattooist who did quote unquote traditional Filipino tattoos and couldn't find one actually.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, there's a ton of femme tattooists now and but yeah, at the time there wasn't any, and so I was like, maybe this is a part of my journey, and anyway, so fast forward to 2014. This is kind of a long-ish story, but
no, we love it.
Fast forward to 2014, I went to the Philippines with a friend of mine. We had planned to do this whole spiritual journey over there, and try, other than getting a tattoo by Apo Wangod, talking to healers and just learning from them and receiving healing too from Manghi Hilots. And but unfortunately, my uncle, my mom's oldest brother, was diagnosed with cancer. And so my mom was like, is it okay if you take this time to be with family, I could use your support to
for sure
to help, with take care of your uncle, because he didn't want to go to the hospital. So I did, and I think it was really an integral, one of the most integral parts of my journey, in terms of like connecting to spirit, because I basically was his death doula.
Wow.
I turned, like, it just so happened to be that way, right? And so, and then so that, like, that helped me with my connection to spirit, because he was talking about seeing people who are loved ones, like his brothers who have passed, and telling us that they're coming to get him, and like, you know, and so I don't know, it's such a beautiful time, actually, even though it's such, you know, death is always so full of grief and
For sure, and
sadness, but, and, you know, it was a sad time, but it was also really beautiful in ways of, you know, spirit and connection to spirit. Anyways, I told my mom, I just really need to see Apawangod.
Yeah.
And this is like the one thing I really need to do on this trip. And I did. My uncle passed away in March. We were there from January till about April, May.
Oh, so this was in the Philippines.
This was in the Philippines.
Wow.
2014. Yeah. And so, and this was at a time where Apawangod was popular, but not like it is now.
Yeah.
You know, where you got to wait in line for days.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm like trying to go maybe in February, so.
Yeah, no, you got to wait in line for days.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I went to see her. I received my markings from her, and I also received markings from Grace, her grandniece.
Oh, wow. Where are they?
They're on my arm, like right here.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry for the ashiness,
No.
but yeah, and then so it was really, oh my gosh, I actually almost died because I got infected. I think we arrived on like a Monday, and we were supposed to be there for a week, and I got tattooed on the next day, I believe. And then the day after I got tattooed, I just was not feeling right.
Oh, no.
I was really dizzy. I had a high fever. My arm was like red, like really red. And it was so painful. And I was like, okay, there's something wrong, right? My friend was like, do you want to go? Do you want to leave now? And I was like, no, I think I'll be okay. Like, let's just stay. And because, you know, we were supposed to integrate with the people and like help them plant rice and, you know,
Yeah,
all those things. And, you know, I was like, I want that for you. Like, you can go do that, you know? And then, you know, we left as scheduled, but I was not well. Like, don't know how I got down the mountain.
I've heard the journey to Kalinga is crazy.
It is. It's actually not so bad now, because they've changed a few things as far as like getting there. I think like it's like less walking now or something like that. I can't remember, but yeah, at the time it wasn't less walking, and I don't really know how I got down that mountain, because I was like off balance. I was like, yeah, it was pretty bad.
Oh,
anyway.
Man. Yeah.
So I'm on this bus on a bus back to Baguio, and once we got to Baguio, I was able to do some research because we had Wi-Fi, and I had all the symptoms for cellulitis.
Oh, what? What's
that? Cellulitis is a deep tissue infection, because you know, when if you get an infection from a tattoo, it's just like a staph surface infection.
Okay.
Cellulitis is like deep tissue, like even like beneath all of that skin and
oh my
whatnot.
Gosh. So what do you think was going on?
Well, I'm diabetic.
Right.
And I think that my system I think like, because over there, they're not, at the time anyways, I know they're better now.
Yeah.
But at the time, like I don't think it was super sterile, you know?
Right.
Which I knew going in there, to be honest. I was like, I'm going to get an infection. It's okay. It won't be bad. It'll heal. Right? Meanwhile, yeah. So, yeah, I found out I got cellulitis. I had called my cousin and I was like, yo, you got to bring me to the hospital as soon as we get to Manila.
Yeah.
And then on the bus, thank goodness we got like a bus with a toilet on it, because I was in the toilet most of the time. My body was like just trying to detox everything, right?
And self-regulate.
Yeah. Oh, another thing is in my research, I saw that oil of oregano was because I look up holistic remedies, and oil of oregano was the number one thing that came up for cellulitis, and that it's like saved people's lives and whatnot. And so I just happened to have a freaking bottle of oil of oregano in my backpack because I was smart enough to ask my brother to get me a bottle. Yeah. And I was like downing that. I was downing it. I'm really trying hard not to swear, but I was like downing it. Yeah. And so like the red was like climbing up my arm, and it was like right over here when I was started taking the oil of oregano, and I was like, oh man, like that's close to my heart, right? So, and I had read that cellulitis, if not treated right away, that I can go septic.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I was pretty scared. I knew that things were not right, and oil of oregano helped kind of keep things at bay, I suppose. Anyway, so I get to the hospital. My cousin meets me. We get to the hospital. I'm like, I go into the admissions, and they're like, "Why are you here?" And I was like, "I think I have cellulitis."
You're like, I already know.
Yeah, I want to look into the camera, but I can't because I don't want to flash you guys with this. But yeah, and they just looked at me and they were like, okay. They called the nurses right away. The nurses came really fast, like putting IV, and I was just like, oh, sugar. So I knew I almost died.
Wow.
But also at the same time, like, I was reflecting in the hospital bed, and I was like, this is such a. I had learned that in my research about our ancestral tattooing, that some people do get sick, and when you get sick and you live through it, then you're like, it's like a leveling up.
Yeah, it's like your initiation.
Exactly.
I was gonna ask you, I was like, please tell me this is the story of your initiation.
It is. You are exactly right.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the story of my initiation. And then, as soon as I got home, I just like stopped using the machine and just did handpoke.
Wow.
Yeah. That's what happened.
That's a crazy story, especially to have gone through, what you described with death doulaing your family member,
right? To
then paying this pilgrimage. Also, like, quick sidebar for anyone who doesn't know who Apo Wangod is. She's a centenarian. She's over 100 years old. Yeah. She's from the Kalinga Mountains, and upholds the tradition of handpoke tattooing. Hand tap. Oh yeah, even different. It's like piece of wood with a thorn with a charcoal, as what they used to do.
Yeah, and then there's two pieces. There's as you can see, hand poking is just this, but with hand tap, like you mentioned, there's like a piece of thorn that's sticking out, and you have another stick that you like tap it with to get the ink in.
Yes.
Just one of the many methods of, that our ancestors used to tattoo.
So that started now, what has been like a decade, hey? Like 2014, now it's 2025.
Yeah, 11 years since then. Wow. I didn't even realize that.
How has your relationship to the practice evolved over time?
Oh my gosh. Oh, do we have another? I don't know.
We can go on. This live stream's 8 hours long.
How has it evolved? It's funny because I'm actually started mentoring, and I've had like 3 mentors so far, going through 2 of them right now.
You mean mentees?
Mentees, yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And I always talk about how tattooing. Ritual tattooing, yes, it's holding space for your client or for the receiver, but it's also healing for us, because there's, as I mentioned earlier during prayers, like we're all connected, right? We all mirror each other. And in every ceremony that I've done, there's always something about it that I resonate with, and that I need to heal within myself. Oh my gosh, I might cry. But anyways, that I need to heal within myself. So I feel like it's been such a journey of like healing and, you know, facing my different parts of myself that I may not necessarily like. And I know we've talked about this, you know, that I may not necessarily like, and really just holding those parts of myself. And yeah, and I really do believe that it's a collective healing. And it's also, you know, a form of resistance, because this practice was erased, or they tried to anyways, from, you know, through colonization.
It's true.
Yeah, so I do believe this is a revolutionary act that we're doing now, you know, reclaiming our sugar. I like that, reclaiming our sugar.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, from the beginning till now, it's just been more intentional, I think. And I'm really seeing the connections of, again, like my own healing and the community's healing. And it's just all just kind of, I don't know, because
it's all connected.
It's all connected, you know, and in the diaspora, we face so many similar situations, you know, with why we came here. You know, it wasn't our choice to come here, which is another grief. But, you know, it's something that our parents needed to do for us. And, you know, but, and I've also, you know, in 2014, I also found out that my Lola was a Hilot. And I never knew this all of my life.
Can you tell people what that means? So Lola means grandma.
Lola means grandma, and a Hilot is so Hilot. The root word is Hilot, and Hilot is our traditional medicine. So a lot of people would connect Hilot to like massage, but it's actually not. That's only one part of Hilot. Hilot like encompasses many different healing modalities.
Yeah,
and so. Yeah, she was a healer. I guess that's like the like short version of what a Hilot is, like a healer.
I'd love to know the story of how you received your spirit name, Akit Biyaya, Charmer of Grace.
Oh.
And what does that mean to you today?
Oh my gosh. You know what? I'm still actually processing that. I feel like I'm still learning my spirit name and really trying to embody it. I am studying or learning Hilot from my teacher at the Hilot Academy of Binabaylan at Lutyang Agamat, which is in the Philippines.
Wow.
Shout out to them. And my teacher does naming ceremonies where he channels according to your, oh my gosh, kilubansa, which is like, I guess it's another form of it's an elemental reading, basically, where, you know, we take your name, we translate it to Baybayin, and each, each sound, because, you know, Baybayin doesn't actually have letters. It's more like
sounds.
Ba, ka, or ba, bi, bo, like that kind of situation. Oh my gosh, this looks amazing, by the way. And so he translates it to Baybayin, and that's how they do. So each sound is associated with an element. And so you're either like deficient of an element or have excess of an element, and then you just balance accordingly. And so he did that. And also when he does these naming ceremonies, he also channels specific deities.
Yeah.
And so the deity that came up for me was Bathala, who's the creator. And through Kilubansa and messages from Bathala.
Yeah. Who's Kilubansa?
Kilubansa is the elemental reading I was talking about.
Oh, right.
It's okay. it's a lot of information.
Yeah, and new words.
Yes, exactly. And through that came my spirit name. Charmer of Grace. So according to my teacher, and I'm saying, according to my teacher, because again, I'm still trying to process and embody this for myself. When I do like tattoo ceremony or provide energy work for people, it's holding space for grace. So that's why you call it the Charmer of Grace. But because all these ceremonies are about grief, and it's about releasing, whatever it is that no longer serves us, so that we can be in our truth. You know what I mean? So, yeah. And for me, like, I think I really was, I don't know, I almost resisted it at first because I was like, Bathala, like the ultimate creator, right?
Yeah.
Like showed up for me. And then I had to just embody it because I am a creator. We're all creators, And so, yeah, one day I just kind of like, no, I am a creator. And, Bathala came to me for a reason, And so, I just, I don't know. It's just like such an honor.
Yeah.
And it's such a powerful thing that I almost maybe feel like I don't really deserve it, but I know I do.
Yep. And that is the journey on this path of self-acceptance.
And that is the journey, right? So what does it mean for me? I don't really know yet. Like I'm just like, I'm at a space right now where I'm just kind of just honored to even have received this name, And that Bathala came through for me. So
that is sick, dude. I'm actually stoked for you, especially because it was only a couple of years ago. And like you said, like you don't know fully yet, and that it's going to be the rest of your lifetime.
Absolutely.
Like having, I guess you growing into your name.
That's right. Yeah.
That's super cool. So becoming, this is the first time I heard this word, the antingero.
Antingero, yes.
Antingero. How did that, like an amulet conjurer, how did that come into your life?
I feel like I've always been making jewelry, I guess. And that's like the form of anting that I make. So anting is basically an amulet. It means amulet. And if you, in the Philippines right now, like an anting comes from this one place, or, if you know any antingeros, yeah, Quiapo. I think it's Quiapo. There's like you can go to Quiapo and buy like a bunch of antings if you wanted to. But yeah, it's basically an amulet. I've been like making them all my life. You could see
without even realizing
millions of crystals in my house. But yeah, and I don't know. And people have been telling me stories of like how these amulets have helped them through, And so as I was learning about Hilot, antingeros were one of the I guess like gifts of Manghihilots, right? And so I was just kind of like, oh, that's me. I also do that, So yeah, that's how it came about. I mean, I've always been doing it since I don't even know for how long, since I was a teen, I think.
Wow.
I don't know.
Do you have a favorite like amulet or crystal? That you never, like, especially if you're traveling, that I never forget. You always carry with you.
Yeah, I have this. Okay, funnily enough, it's a snake.
We're in our snake era.
I mean, I feel like I always have been.
Yeah.
But it's like this labradorite. Oh, I have two of them actually. Yeah. There's one that's a labradorite snake and one that's a howlite snake.
Oh, howlite is the one that's like white with gray, right?
It looks like kind of like a marble. I love those protective energies. I also have this like fluorite piece that I like to work with like after energy work or ceremonies, because fluorite really like helps to redirect that energy. So I feel like labradorite, fluorite, howlite, because it's like really calming. I also really love rose quartz.
Yes.
Because like loving vibes, you know, because we all need the
We all
the
need
love.
that. Open your heart.
That's right. Yeah, and I don't know. I like necklaces specifically because I can wear them closer to my heart. It just feels really protective, you know, when you have like, and I like really wearing big pieces too. So when you feel that like heavy big piece right there, it just really feels super protective and safe and kind of, I have anxiety, and so that weight really helps too, you know.
So I have some fun rapid fire questions. Thing you love most about being here in Lake Cowichan?
Oh, I mean, look at it.
Yeah, nature
I can't,
vibes.
like,
we see mountains and trees from here.
Listen, I'm in my isolation era.
Yeah.
Like hermit life.
The hermit
you know?
card.
I love the community, don't get me wrong, but I like to just go to the community when I'm just at a point in my life where I really need to be, the resource that I find is out there in nature, in the waters, in the rivers. We both like lake and river here, in the trees, in the mountains, in the wild animals. Like we have like elks walking around here. We got bears.
We saw a deer on our way.
Yeah, right?
What's one Filipino dish everyone needs to try at least once?
Palabok.
Ooh, why palabok? That is
good.
That is an acquired taste, I think.
It's so delicious.
Yeah, it's the one with either thin or like these thicker rice noodles.
I like the thin ones.
Yeah, me too. Like the vermicelli style.
Yeah.
With this like shrimpy paste flavor.
Yep.
With hard-boiled eggs, green onion.
Squid. I like it with squid.
Is there squid? I've
Some
never
people
had
make
that.
it with squid, yeah.
Wow. I didn't like it as a kid.
No,
I think it was
why?
because I was a picky eater, man. Like I didn't like a lot of things growing up, but I had it as an adult, and you know, because we try different auntie titas, and titos and their recipes.
Yep.
And I think I was just getting a tita's recipe that I just wasn't into until I tried someone who did it with the thin noodles, and the crunchy
thin noodles all the way,
the crunchy garlic on the top.
Oh my god! And chicharron.
Yes, that, and that I got to eat it inside of a pandesal, like the bread.
That sounds delicious.
That converted me from that point.
That sounds delicious.
Right? I could hit that right now. Song that is on repeat on your playlist right now.
I've been listening to a lot of Jodeci.
OMG! We're going throwbacks.
Yes, I've been listening to a lot of Jodeci.
What's your favorite Jodeci song?
Shoot, I don't know. Alone, Feenin', what was the other one? Love You for Life. Like there's so many.
Romantic.
Like the whole Diary of a Madman album, first of all.
Gosh.
But yeah, I've been listening to a lot of Jodeci lately.
I love that for you.
Yeah.
If your ancestors could see your work today, what would they say or do?
I mean, I'd like to think that they're proud of me. I'm just like listening.
You're like, they're telling me to do this, actually.
I'd like to think they were proud of me, and like, you know, I'm not a traditionalist in the sense that like how I guess other people claim they're traditionalists with like, what's it called? I don't even know how to explain it. Okay, let me say it this way. I'm taking like ancestral wisdom, ancestral knowing, and just like putting my own medicine into it. So that's why I don't feel like I'm a traditionalist in the sense of how I guess the diaspora sees what tradition is or what a traditionalist is.
Right. Like a purist.
Yes, thank you. Yes. So, and you know, I believe traditions change, everything changes, right?
And evolves.
Exactly. And like, you know, our ancestors, if colonization didn't happen, like we would still evolve and change, and our traditions would change as the times change. And so, you know, like we are Filipinos, and we should be entitled to changing changing sugar up.
Yes.
I'm gonna say sugar now instead of you know what I mean?
Who are you, other artists, creatives, tattooists in the Filipinx diaspora? Who are you inspired by?
Woo, I mean Alona. Hello.
From time.
From time. I'm really inspired by Grace. Grace, Apo Wangod's niece.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at her work, it's like fire, first of all. For like hand tap, like it's fire. And she embodies the like taking ancient wisdom and putting her own medicine into it. Because if you look at her work, it's not really like in the quote unquote traditional placements. Well, maybe it is, but like the designs is what I'm talking about. So she really embodies that. And I mean, she's a beautiful person. I met her. She tattooed me, you know, and just really like, she's a really like vibrant, that's like the best way I could describe it.
Cool.
Vibrant spirit. So yeah, Grace, actually mostly my peers, you know, I call them my peer elders because I feel like we like teach each other. We all learn from each other. Yeah, Jules. Who else is there? You know, homie from Seattle, Rachel from Seattle. Oh man, there's so many that I like am inspired by. My mentees actually, you know, my mentees are very inspiring and kind of remind me of me when
Who are your mentees right now?
One of well, they've already finished their mentorship with me. Is this like Fijian person? Fijian human, such a beautiful, very super talented person. And they are actually, their work right now is trying to bring back Vekia, which is Fijian tattooing.
Wow.
And for them, it was strictly only women were tattooed and only women were practitioners. And
Wow.
so there's not a lot of resources about it, but there is a group in Fiji who is practicing to revive their traditions. So
Wow.
yeah, she was able to go there. And, oh my gosh, I'm just like so proud of them. So I have another mentee who's mixed race Filipino, and another one who is from Haida, from Haida Gwaii. I can't remember what other nations that she's from, but yeah.
Cool.
Good people.
Okay, the most sacred part of my process is?
I think, oh my God, it's all sacred, but I'm trying to think of myself these days.
Yeah.
So I think it's the after, like what I do for my self-care, what I do for this vessel, you know, because I do take a long time to recover from tattooing, especially if I'm going to tattoo for like a few weeks, you know, somewhere. I do really need, like, I just recently went to Montreal. I was there for 3 weeks, almost 3 weeks. And I wanted to take the summer off tattooing and just like rest, except for this, but you know, that's okay. Yeah. And you know, like all that, I told you that my chronic pain was flaring up, and it was really because from that time, you know, I'm not fully recovered from it, but it's okay. So it's like my self-care, I would say, is my home. My home is like sacred to me.
Yes.
You know, so.
This is my last question. What do you most wish to see grow or shift within our diasporic Filipinx community?
What makes me sad is the continued beef that happens in our community, you know? And it's like, it just really makes me sad because we're actually all for the same end result. You know what I mean? And like, why can't we work together? And why do we always have to beef? And like, it's just, again, it's that like colonized mentality, right?
It reminds me of like the aunties.
Yes. And like, you know, the lateral violence within our community. It's like, it's just ongoing and ongoing. And it's like a cycle that just keeps happening and happening. And like every time I hear of a story or whatever, it just makes me so sad. So I just want, let's spin this in a way of like, I just want like more compassion in our community.
Yes.
You know, to understanding that we all, you know, even though we all have the same end goal, we all have different traumas and different pain in our lives, and just kind of understanding, you know, hopefully understanding where we all are coming from, and
Yes.
like just holding space that we are all different. We may not agree on anything, but that's okay, you know? So
Yeah, that keyword you said, compassion,
yeah.
really hit home.
Yeah.
And that's all also just beyond our own Filipinx diasporic community. That's like within the human race, period.
Right? For real.
Aw, this has been so good, Julay. Thank you so much
it
for
was so
sharing
fun.
space.
Yeah.
See, it wasn't so
I was
bad.
so nervous.
You're like,
but it
what
was
if I
chill.
lose my train of thought? You got it. You were so clear. You were so good.
It was chill. I had fun.
Yeah.
I mean, you made things like chill too.
I told
so.
you I'd do that. 102 interviews at this point. Is it okay if we can show the almost done
Yeah, we are
tattoo?
almost done. Hold on, let me just get this line in here. I'm just kind of finishing up the lines. Just kind of.
Look at that. You got it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, shout outs to everyone who tuned in on the live stream, people who are watching the replay afterwards. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
My name is Cazi. This is Julay. You can find
Hi.
Julay on the internets, on
Yes.
the web, Sacred Spirit Inc. I think there's a dot in between all of them.
Yeah. Julay.ca. Just go there.
There you go.
Julay.
Boom,
.ca.
boom. Yes. Shout outs once again. Y'all have been tuned in on Beats, Eats,